This is Sparta! And he just runs forward. Rook to a3, hunting down one of the last 7 pawns remaining, h4. Rook takes b3. The king defends. A third pawn has fallen. B, A, C. The entire queen side has collapsed, but the king has joined forces with the center pawns and the 2 flank pawns. The board is now going to get cut in half as black tries to systematically blockade the pawns and win them one by one, and then deliver a checkmate with king and rook, because black doesn't have any pawns. Black can't promote to a queen. G4, bishop d5 blockading, king to g5. A fatal mistake. White needed to advance the pawns together like this. That would have gotten him somewhere. That would have been really dangerous, but instead, he accidentally abandoned the pawn on the back ranks. It's over. He's lost half of his pawns. And that's very important because that pawn was the base of the chain. And now he's going to lose both of those pawns as well. H5, you don't stress. The pawns are walking to their death. You go rook e4. King f5, you lose this pawn, you're down to 3. You ain't saving this game with 3. At that point, black can even sack the bishop. And this is just a very, very, very well-known endgame how to win. Instead, after this, white goes for this pawn. I don't hate it, but it might be a little bit slow. King to h4. You definitely don't want to play king h4. You don't want to play king h4. It's better to be in the center. If you get your king cut off on the edge of the board, he loses access to so many squares. You have to keep the king in the center if you want to survive. But rook to g1, g5, bishop to e6. White is running out of options. Rook to g4 is a mistake. Rook to g4 is a mistake because the king runs forward, but it comes at the cost of yet another pawn, which black forgets to capture. Rook to g2. Oh my goodness. The king is broken in. Bishop f7 check. You don't need to give checks. You don't need to give checks because now the king has accidentally been giving a golden ticket to the center of the board. He's going to join the other pawns. Oh my goodness. Rook d2. Finally, black has regained their composure, but it's a little late. But white, for whatever reason, with 4 passing pawns, moves the king and suddenly loses one of his most important pawns, and instead of pushing his most advanced pawn, he pushes this! Oh! In this position, black takes. And now, it's king and 2 pawns versus king and rook. Rook g4 check, king to f6, and white pushes his last remaining pawn all the way to e7! Rook f4 check, king to e6, rook e4 check, and this game is decided by 1 square, because if the king could get right there, it would be over. But the king can only get to g7. e8 would queen, at which point we would be left with king versus king, rook d4, and now king to e8, sliding behind the pawn. And now, black plays this.